Hi guys, Rory here from Your Golf Travel. I've been joined in Dubai by Mr. Lee Westwood. Thank you very much for joining me, Lee.
Pleasure.
And we're here at the Els Club doing a bit of filming today, and we thought we'd catch up with you, discuss the coming year, golf courses that Your Golf Travel clients can hopefully play in the coming months as well. Because we're in Dubai, naturally, we'll kick off here. Do you recall the first year that you played in the Dubai Desert Classic?
It was 1994. It was the second ever event on the European Tour, so I recall little bits of it.
Not much though.
But not much.
Well, it's your 26th season.
I know
now,
I made the cut,
correct.
so
That's
yeah,
good.
it is my 26th season this year. Yeah, I've played in most of them. I would think I'll be up to somewhere around 20 or 21 Desert Classics.
So you've obviously got a lot of experience playing golf in Dubai,
Yeah.
and as it's still a relatively young golf destination in the grand scheme of things when you compare it to other places, but obviously from 94 when you first played it to now, the country itself and certainly the golfing landscape has changed dramatically.
Yeah, certainly when I first came here there were, I think, 2 golf courses, maybe 3, but over the years obviously it's developed beyond all recognition. Now there's a wide variety of golf courses, a good variety of choices to come and play, and I've been here on holiday as well as played tournaments, so I've played the likes of the Els Club where we are today, Dubai Hills a couple of weeks ago when I was on holiday, Trump Dubai, and then I've played the tournaments here on the Jumeirah Earth course and the Majlis, the Creek years ago as well. So yeah, I've played most of them, and they're all pretty good. I think as far as a guaranteed sun destination, this is about as close to Britain as you can get. It's only a 6.5 hour flight out here, and the hotels are exceptional and the weather's predictable.
Yeah.
It's generally sun. I remember it raining once, I think. The worst it ever gets here is like a bit of breeze blows up and there's a bit of sand in the air, but you're never really cold.
Yeah, well that's good, so you can leave your waterproofs at home then.
Yeah.
Do you have any personal highlights in terms of tournament play that you've obviously played out in Dubai a lot? Have you got any personal highlights from your tournament? So we're talking Dubai Desert Classic or the DP World Tour Championship?
Well, I won the DP World Tour Championship back in 2009 to win the money list, so that would be my highlight of playing golf here. But yeah, I've come close in the Desert Classic a couple of times, lost in a playoff to Miguel Angel Jimenez and finished second to David Howell at the Creek 20 years ago now, 1999. Come close at the Desert Classic a couple of other times to, I think, Cabrera Bello and Stephen Gallagher. So I've had a few chances. I seem to be pretty popular out here because I've been playing here for years, and get quite a good following. So the atmosphere is good out there on the golf course, and I enjoy playing here.
Cool. And the after party, I presume, after winning the DP, must
Yeah,
have
that
been
was
pretty...
quite. Yeah, I think I had to fly off somewhere the next morning, so I didn't get much sleep, and then I pitied the person that was sat next to me on that flight.
Okay, cool. So moving further into the year, it's not too far away now, I guess, but we're going to talk Augusta and the Masters. Obviously, lots of clients come out to the Masters with us every single year, and you've obviously been going there as a player for, I think you said 97 was your first
since
year?
97, yeah.
On social media, I often see players like unwrapping their invitations, and it seems to create more of a buzz than other events on the calendar. So from a player's perspective, what is special about the Masters and Augusta?
Well, it's a difficult tournament to get into, first and foremost. It's generally just top 50 in the world and past winners and a few other categories. But there's a lot of history and tradition goes along with the tournament, so I think that's what the players like. Obviously, we keep going back to the same venue every year. Players get to know the golf course well. It's a course that as you learn over the years, you find out a way to get around there. And it's just the whole package. You see familiar faces, and the golf course is brilliant and great condition. The greens are like no other, so I think it's just something that all the players look forward to, getting that invite.
So I think it's quite interesting the way you said that you get to know the golf course. I think as fans watching it on TV, we think we know the golf course, but having been a couple of times myself, the golf course is certainly familiar, but it is definitely more extreme and completely different from what you see on TV to what you see in real life. Yeah,
you get a better appreciation of it when you look at it live, if you're there. The undulations are a lot more severe, and the slopes on the greens are a lot more severe. You know, it's one thing. You know, I remember watching the Masters on TV growing up, and you know, you only ever got to see the back nine. Now they show the front nine as well, but nothing prepares you for how steep the hill on the 18th is and the 10th, and you know, just how quick the greens are till you ever put on them. So yeah, it's always a good one to, you know, tick off your bucket list and go and actually go to a Masters. It's a great place for viewing as well. I've taken friends and family, and they all say that it's the best golf course for actually watching golf. You can get a good vantage point. You know, when you consider how many people are in there, you can get a good vantage point on most holes.
Yeah, I would completely agree with that. In terms of live golf, from my opinion, the viewing experience at Augusta is fantastic. So speaking of the viewing experience, obviously you have a different perspective being on the other side of the ropes as a player, but let's pretend that you had friends and family going again this year, and you could pick 3 holes in the course where you said, right, you have to go there, and that's where you get your chair, your Masters chair down.
Yeah, I think most people will go there and put a chair down behind the 18th green. It's a good place to watch from there. You can see the 9th as well and kind of see all the golf course from there. But 13, 15, 16 are great places to see some drama.
Yeah, it's a good little corner of the course, that, because as you say, you can access other holes quite easily from that little central location. Then there's concession stands, so you know, cold beer is obviously at the top of most people's list when they sit down on their chair. So
yeah, and the nice thing about the Masters is, you know, the people at Augusta, you know, they don't take advantage of you once you're in there. You know, they keep the concessions at a reasonable price. Yeah,
that is great. So moving further into the major championship schedule, we had a few holes earlier, and you mentioned how good the rota is this year. So obviously you've got Augusta, you've got Pebble Beach, and then on to you've got the Open Championship at Royal Portrush, going back for the first time since the 50s. The only course to have hosted it outside of England and Scotland. And what are you expecting from that event?
Well, it's a long time since I played Portrush. It was the amateur championship back in the early 90s, but I remember it being a great golf course, and they've changed it a little bit. They've put in 2 holes down by the ocean now to try and get the golf course to finish in the right spot. And I've spoken to Darren, and he said that they're fantastic holes. So, like any links golf, it's all dependent on the weather that week, whether it blows or not. But it is a fantastic links course. It's a great design. There's some really tough shots out there.
So finally, we're going to move on to the Ryder Cup. So firstly, congratulations for the Golf National 2018. Obviously, you were part of the Thomas Bjorn's vice captain staff.
Yeah.
What was your individual role at the event, or do you all kind of just pitch in the same fashion, or do you have various specific roles that you take out?
Yeah, we were all obviously giving our opinions. The week starts off a little bit slow. There's not that much to do really on Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday comes around, you're starting to get involved a little bit more. On Thursday, you're starting to think about, you know, your final pairings and stuff like that. So, you know, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're really involved because the captain's eyes out on the golf course while he's away doing other stuff, you know, media requirements, things like that. So, and he can't be everywhere at once. So, you know, you're having to relay how players are playing to put partnerships together for the afternoons and thinking about the next morning. And it was interesting, you know, it was the first time I'd ever done it, and I gained an appreciation for what it's like, you know, not playing and being the other side of the rope, so to speak. You know, Thomas obviously put a lot of planning into it and a lot of thought, and it turned out well. We all gave our opinions and came up with the right plan at the end of the day.
So, going backwards a little bit, what was your first ever Ryder Cup memory? Not even specifically as a player, but
Sam Hall in the winning putt in '85 at the Belfry, and then watching them win at Muirfield Village, first time in the States in '87. I remember sitting in the clubhouse and watching that. And then I was lucky enough to go to '89 and '93 at the Belfry.
Yeah.
And clinging to the scaffolding under the stands on 18 to try and get a view. And then in '97, obviously, I was part of a winning team in Valderrama.
Yeah, well, those Ryder Cups at the Belfry, when you went as a fan, that must have been one of the last live golf events you went to as a spectator, rather than because you've been turning pro not long after.
Probably the only two. I didn't ever go to an Open Championship or anything like that. You know, when I was an amateur, I went to 2 Ryder Cups and a women's Weetabix British Open at Lindrick to watch. So, you know, I went in '93 and I was watching people like Monty and Seve and Bernard Langer and Ian Woosnam, and then '97 comes around and I'm having practice rounds with them. So it was one minute you're watching your heroes and the next minute you're playing with them, and then you're part of the team. So, you know, it was an incredible experience, really.
So, Paul J. Carrington, recently named as captain for 2020 in Whistling Straits. First of all, what are your thoughts on Whistling Straits as a golf course? I mean, why would people A, go there to spectate at the Ryder Cup, or B, go there on a golf holiday, for instance?
I think it's a good venue for the Ryder Cup. You know, there's this thing where the home team kind of gets to plan how the golf course is going to play. You can't really do too much with Whistling Straits. You know, you're either on the fairway or you're in the hills with the sand and the long rough. You know, you can't really open it up any more than it is. You can't speed the greens up because it gets windy up there. So I think we're going to have a real good chance when we go there. It's a nice golf course for any ability golfer to play. You know, there's lots of teeing areas, so you can make it play as short or as long as you want. There's, you know, the fairways are pretty generous. Greens are very undulating, so it's a nice part that you feel like you're playing almost links golf on the side of the lake there. So it's, you know, it's a nice place to go and play golf. You know, you've got plenty of options around there with Black Wolf Run, and Erin Hills is not too far away down the road. So yeah, it'll be a great place for the Ryder Cup for people to come and watch, and if they want to play some golf, there's some good options.
Cool. And finally, when's the big announcement coming? When are you announcing yourself, or when are you being announced as the captain for Italy in 2022?
I don't know. That's still a ways down the road. I'm going to concentrate on my playing career for a while.
So we'll see you playing at Whistling Straits then?
Hopefully, yeah. You know, I'd like to play in the team. You know, I won a couple of months ago, so still proves I can win out here and win enough points. So yeah, I'm hoping to play on that side, and if not, then I'll try and help out wherever I can.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure.
Been interesting hearing your thoughts on various places you guys can play, various tournaments you can visit. So if you'd like any more information about anything that Lee and I have spoken about in this video, just get in touch with Your Golf Travel. And yeah, thank you again for your time, and hopefully we'll get to do this again next year. We can talk a little bit more about golf tournaments and courses you guys can play.